So I'm going to hit record on this thing again. It is 11 o'clock, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. We had quite a large group of people confirm that they were going to come watch this training today. So hopefully this is useful for you. Last week, if you were watching the Century 21 Facebook Lives on Century 21 Canada, they had a guy named Jared James on there. I think it was last Monday or Tuesday. And he did a talk about things you can do to continue to build your business, but not really be too active. You don't want to appear insensitive, right? So you want to do something that's productive, but isn't insensitive. So one of the things he suggested was to build a page on your website to show people where they can get takeout food, right? People have become accustomed to going out to restaurants on a fairly regular basis, but we can't do that anymore. But there are a lot of places out there that are trying really hard to put in some safety protocols so that they can still provide takeout food, right? Do deliveries, that kind of stuff. So one of his suggestions was build a website, show people where they can get this information, and then share that website, that page on your website out to your sphere. Let them know that you're trying to help them. So I went in on my website over the last couple of days and built out a test page. So I want to share that with you and then go through the process of actually creating that on your website. So I see Christine's on the call here with us. She's an expert at these websites now. Constantine can help me out. So if I screw something up, please step in and correct me, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. That's not what I want.
Oh, the fucking Ginsu.
So does everybody know how to get into Core 21?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. So you need to get into Core 21, and then, you know what, I'm going to minimize that entirely. You need to get into Core 21, and you need to go to the content section. Okay, actually, before I do that, let me back up a little bit and just show you what I've come up with. So here's a page on my website. This is live on the internet right now, but it is not, you'll notice, in my menu. So it's an active web page, but I haven't included it in my menu yet, my navigation menu, just because I wanted to make sure that it looked the way I wanted to before I did that. And that's part of the things I'm going to show you today is how to do that. So when somebody lands here, it's just a nice big graphic, Peterborough takeout options, helping you spread stop the spread of COVID-19. And then I just went through and I just did a quick Google search for Peterborough restaurants doing delivery in April 2020. And I found a few and started copying and pasting some information and just built this page. So it's very simple. I didn't do a whole lot of extra graphics like images of the restaurant on the side of the page, anything like that. I just want to get something up here so that, you know, if I wanted to, I could share this out with my friends and family and sphere of influence to let them know that there are some options out there for them. So if that looks like something you want to do, here's how you do it. So on Core 21, you're going to click the content button. Like I said, it'll bring you to this page here. So what this shows me is every page that is available for me to display on my website on the new Century 21 platform. So for you to create something like this, it starts with telling the system, I want to start a new page. Okay, so you click this little plus button right here, or you can click the add new button over here. Okay, we're going to click that. And this brings up the editor for a new page on my website. Okay, so starting at the top, I'm just going to give it a title. So I might call this restaurant takeout locations, something like that. Okay, on the right hand side, you can leave page level alone, but under file name alias, you have to give it a file name for it so that the system can record this information. So again, I'm just going to call it restaurant takeout locations. And you'll see that when I type that, when I do spaces, it puts these little hyphens in for me. That's because the file name can't have spaces in it. So the system takes care of that for you. And the link name, I'm going to give it a name. This is the name that might appear in the menu at the top. So this, I'm going to say takeout options, something like that. And below here, as I scroll down, is where I can start putting some content in. And I'm just going to quickly show you the options that's down the page before we start actually editing those, okay? Down here is the page templates, right? What do I want the page to look like? And we can start making some further options. Now, on my sample page, you can see I've got a nice big graphic at the top here. I don't have the search function appearing here. That's one of the standard options that shows up. So let's create that, okay? The way I did that was, excuse me, I believe, Constantine, correct me, I did full width page. That's the one I did. Full width page. Nope, because my other options didn't show up. Sorry, guys. Cover page. Choose cover page, then go down here. So I want the background to be a photo. There are other options, but I want it to be a photo in this case. And then I can add the image. So now I created this background image here in Canva. So I'm happy to give you guys this image to drop into your web pages, or you can go create your own, or you can just leave it blank. You can just have text as a header there if you wanted to, okay? So to add that photo, I click the plus. It's going to go into my downloads, and here's the image that I used. Click open to insert it, and it's uploading. Now, you guys will probably be way faster than mine. I'm out in the country here, and my upload speed is not great, and Trish is now trying to teach on her computer, and my son is doing his university work, so it's going to be a little slow.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
The background photo, where does it show what size that should be?
If you hit the little question mark right here, images should be at least 1024 pixels wide or high. My suggestion is make it 2048 wide. At 1024, the resolution isn't quite high enough on most modern computers. So I made mine 2048 by 400 high or 350 high, I think it was. If you make it too high, when I go to the page itself, this image is just too tall. Like you have to scroll down to get to the bottom of the image. Even this, to me, is the maximum I would want it to be. But smaller than that started to lose effectiveness. It didn't quite look quite right. So this was the happy medium for me on my site. Good question.
Thanks.
A thing I've been doing, Doug, is every time I am doing something like this, I also have my phone open.
Yeah.
Because the greater or the majority are on a tablet or a phone, and we don't want it to look too big or too wonky on the phone, even though it converts it. I use the phone more as a guide than I do a desktop computer monitor, because that's the way the dodo bird.
Yeah. So yeah, but just about half of traffic is landing here from mobile now, I think. So you're right, Con, you should be doing that. And then this one is not ideal. I did test it on my phone. If I turn it sideways, the entire image shows up, but vertical in portrait mode, like holding it like this, it's not ideal, but it works. Okay, so that's a good point. So tint overlay, provides a tint on top of the picture. You can see how it's kind of got gray over top of it there. If I didn't want that, I can turn the tint off by selecting the blank space here or none. No tint overlay. The header, I've got this set to fade out off. I'm going to turn this on, fade out on, because on my sample page, if we just hover here for a second and wait for it to do its thing, you can see then the menu items across the top. If I just don't move the mouse, they kind of disappear after time. I like that effect. If you don't want that, just leave the header fade out off. Okay, that's that right there. Foreground. Now, if I leave this page, if I leave this IDX search on here, in the middle of this image, there would be that search box so people can search for listings, and that's not the point of this page. So I'm going to go to this section here to where it says IDX search, and I'm going to click in the blank space right here so that search won't appear on this particular page. And then I'm going to click save so I don't lose my work so far. And you can see that green bar at the top, action successful. Now I've got to add some content, okay? So Constantine shared a really great website for you guys back in November when he was doing training on this Core 21. It's called Word to HTML. So what I did was I created a Word document with some of the content that I wanted to display on my page, right? And it's formatted to a degree, but not heavily. So all it is I've got a title on here. I've got the name of the restaurant, a description that I ripped right off their website, right? I took this from their website, their URL and their phone number. And I just did that a few times. And again, I didn't choose these. I went to a website that had listed some restaurants, and I just, did the research on the first 5 or 6 that came up, just so I had a sample here. So I would suggest that you guys take some time. If you have some favorite restaurants, call them and tell them, hey, I want to put your restaurant business on my website. Is that okay? Get their permission to do it. Make that connection with them as well, and tell them what you're doing for them. But do your own research. Come up with your own lists that you might not like my list, okay? But all I did was create this Word document, and then I'm going to highlight all of it and copy it. So I just press Control A and then Control C. Control A highlights everything. Control C copies everything. And then I go to this Word editor here, this wordhtml.com, and I'm going to paste that entire thing in here. Okay. What this is going to do for me is allow me to do some further editing and then have this website actually convert it to HTML so that it will appear the same way on my website. So, for example, this title here, I want this to look nice and bold. So I'm going to highlight all of it, go to Formats, and then go to Heading 2, because it makes it nice and big and bold. And our websites interpret that like this. So that text will then look like this on your page. Okay. I wanted to have a dividing line between each one. So I've got a space here right now. In this space, I put my mouse here, and then I go to Insert, Horizontal Line, and that drops that nice horizontal line in there. Oops. Insert, horizontal line. There we go. So I just like the look of that. It separates them out nicely. And if I go back to my sample page, you can see what it looks like here, right? So it's a nice divider between them without getting too fancy with graphics. It's a really simple thing to do inside this editor. Okay, so then I just continue down the page and do that repeatedly. Oh, insert horizontal line. I don't want this extra space here, so I'm just clicking back up and deleting the extra space. But this system is, oh shoot, the system is pretty flexible. You can do quite a bit with it. Once I've got this looking the way I want it to be, on the top here, you'll see where I'm in the Word editor. If I click HTML, you'll see that it converts all of the text that I've just created into HTML code, right? I can then highlight all. Is there a shortcut to highlight and copy all of this, Constantine?
I do the good old-fashioned drag it all and then right-click copy. I don't know the keyboard shortcuts.
Okay, I thought maybe there was one here. So I'm just going to hit Control A to highlight everything. Control C copies it. And then I'm going to go back to my editor on REW. And here's where the content goes, right? This page block, it says content. You see these two little arrow dealies here? If I click that takes me to the source code. So it allows me to drop HTML code into my C21 web page. So I've hit that source code button, and then I just do Control V to paste. If you're on a Mac, it's Command C to copy and Command V to paste. Okay, so there's all that HTML code that this other website generated for me, and then I click OK. And then automatically it's showing me what the text will look like for the most part. Okay, again, I'm going to click Save. There's my green bar, says it's completed. Now, if I want to see a preview of what this page looks like, I can click right here and click View, and it opens a new tab so I can see what it looks like. Okay, so that's the title, the formatting as a header, those horizontal lines that I added, but I didn't do them all, so you can see where this page still needs some work. If I wanted to complete this page, I would have to go back and add all of those in there, okay? And on my real page, if I go to the bottom here, you can see I even put this photo credit for this image. It's a royalty-free image that I got legitimately from unsplash.com, but they do ask that you give credit to the original creator of the image, so that's what I did here, okay? But I moved it over to the right side of the page just because I like the look of it better. I didn't want this to be confused as part of this text, but I did want to give credit somewhere on the page, so I just moved it over to a right justify. Any questions on anything I've said so far?
Nope.
Okay. Go ahead. No? Okay. All right. So I've created the page. Now I need to be able to, I need to tell my website to display that page on the website and have navigation so people can find it there, right? So on the left-hand side, where it says navigation, I'm going to click that. I have to choose the default navigation. Okay, and now if I scroll down here, you can't see that page anywhere. I have to add it to the default navigation so to make it appear in the menu. So I got to click the plus sign right here. I have to give it a link title. So again, I'm going to call it restaurant takeout. And then I have to tell it what page am I trying to link to. So I have to select a page here. So I'm going to scroll down to that page that I just created, restaurant takeout locations. And then I need to tell the system the target. The target means if someone clicks the link, what's the behavior that I expect their browser to do? Is it going to open a new window, or do I want it to open in the existing window? So I'm going to say current browser window, because I don't want them opening too many tabs. When they're on my website, I want to keep them on my website, and I don't want them to have to go back and forth between tabs to find things. So I want current browser window. Okay. And I want this to be a top-level search, because this is a temporary page that I'm not going to have forever necessarily. I might choose later to keep it and change the graphics and the terminology. But for now, I'm going to have this as a top-level menu item. So I'm going to click Save here. Okay, restaurant takeout. Now, I don't like the fact that it's if I went and looked at my website now, let me do that for you. See how it puts that menu item right there, restaurant takeout is the very first item. Just for the way my brain works, I like the home to be over here, so I want to change that. So I'm going to go back in here. There's a couple of questions in the chat. My phone just shut off. Oh, Constantine, no worries. I think we've got this, but I appreciate that. Going back into the back end of my website, and to move the position of these menu items is really, really easy. All I've got to do on the left-hand side, you see these like 8 little dots. And when I hover over that, I get a crosshair. So if I click and hold, and then I can drag this down, I'm going to move that down to there, and actually successfully changes to have already been saved. So if I go back to my website now and refresh this, you'll see the changes happened automatically. There it is. Okay. Another question in the chat. Under file name alias, I would be hyper local, for example, Peterborough Takeout, Millbrook Takeout, because under the file name alias, this link allows your address. Okay, good, thank you. You're like Elaine from Seinfeld with the exclamation point. I try. Restaurant Takeout, I stuck that in there because I want it to stand out. I wouldn't typically do that, but in this instance, I do. Okay, so let's make sure that the link actually works. If I click this now, what happens? There it goes to that page. So I'm happy to provide my Word file to you guys so you can copy this, copy the format. I'm happy to provide my graphic here. Just let me know if you want it. Because I'm recording this right now, I'll share the whole video so everybody can kind of follow along here. But were there any questions about what we've talked about here today? No? It's pretty straightforward. I love the flexibility of this thing. Go ahead, Dave.
Sorry, just want to understand so people, for anyone to find that page on our website, we have to direct them there.
Absolutely.
So the standard link, let's say the standard promotion that we have out there in the world promoting our website, as soon as they click on our website, they will come to see that that page is available on the header, but not actually land on that page. They'll still land on a regular homepage.
That's right. So if you want to direct traffic to that specific page, here's how you would do that. So let's say I wanted to share a link out to my social media. I want to put a post up on my Facebook or on my Facebook business page. Hey guys, if you're looking for options for takeout right now, I know it's tough getting a decent meal, and you want to have special treat for you and your family. You want to order from your favorite restaurant. Here are a few in town that do takeout and delivery. Click here for to see them. So let me show you how to do that. So while I'm on this page, I'm going to go up here to the URL, right? Click on it so that it's highlighted. Copy it. And then I would go into, for example, into my Facebook. And then I would just create that post. Hey, looking for takeout? Check out this page. I just built for you. I don't know why this is being so slow. And then I paste the link in here. And here's a little trick about Facebook. I don't know if you guys know this. Something you can do when you're putting links into web pages. Once it's actually got, this pops up here, I can then delete this text. I can take that link out of there so that it makes it nice and clean, but the shortcut stays there. It's still clickable. It will still show up there. Okay. So it makes it makes it a little bit easier for people to you can make your posts look nice and clean, but you can throw in a link there. So let me just check. Somebody's trying to chat with me here. Kaya, it doesn't have an image with it. No, that's one of the known issues with the new websites, unfortunately, is that when you're doing shortcuts into those pages, the images aren't popping up in the shortcut. So it's something they know about and they are working on, but it's not fixed yet. But good point.
So the other way around that, then you could do kind of opposite to what you're just showing. You could actually put the link into your content, and you could share the photo instead of the link. You know what I mean? If you wanted it to show up with a photo.
Absolutely, yeah. And be careful when you do this. I believe you have to share the photo first, then share the link so that the photo shows up first. Okay, I think that's the way you got to do it. So we'd share the photo of that header image, and then you would share the link on that post. And as soon as you click post here, it'll pop up and people will be able to click it and go through directly to that page. So good point, Dave. If you're directing traffic to your general website, they may not see it. You have to direct them to that specific page. If you wanted to get, you want to spend $15, go to domains.google.com and buy a domain name, Dave's favorite takeout restaurants.com, and have that URL go to that specific page that you just created, whatever that link is. Okay. So you can do some really creative stuff with this. If I go to like this URL right here, have, Dave's favorite restaurants.com go to that URL. So then you can publish just that URL and make it look like something really spectacular to the public. Okay. Anything else? So I will post the video of this. Like I said, I'm recording this. So I'll post the video in the group, and I will post the image that I created. So you're welcome to have it if you want it, or go create your own, and the sample text that I did, so you can kind of use it as a template if you like it. If you don't, do your own by all means. This is better actually if it's unique to you. So you're gonna have to do some research, find some restaurants that you want to post here, make sure they are doing takeout or delivery, and then fill out your content. Okay.
Can I make a suggestion?
Please.
Online, I'm not great at this, but on Facebook, I've seen Peterborough Food to Go and downtown Peterborough.ca. Like the chamber has a list out that you can probably copy and paste.
Yep.
If you could also make sure the pasta shop's in there, that would be awesome. They're on those lists, but and another thing that I've seen, I mean, anybody can use this, is buy dinner for a frontline worker or a hospital worker and have it just delivered out their front door.
Great ideas. Get creative with this, okay? And my page that I built there, it's literally just a list of restaurants with no preamble text or anything like that. You might want to have something in there. Talk about why you're doing this and what you're trying to accomplish, and that the fact that you're trying to support local businesses and help people out. Like, use it wisely.
By the way, Annalisa?
Yes?
2 of your lasagnas have sustained us through this crisis so far. Thank you.
Awesome. And another suggestion, not food related, but make some masks, donate them. Not obviously for hospital workers, but for us out there to go grocery shopping or whatever. They're in dire need. So if you are crafty at all, make something up.
Right on. Okay. All right, guys. Any other questions on this?
No, that was good.
Okay, very good. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers all.